All right, June 28th. Today is my birthday and Elon Musk's birthday. So, today I'm going to talk about my personal life goals. And as you can see, I wrote it right over here. It can all be summed up in one word: children. And that's my literal children and the children of my businesses. So, today I posted on Instagram a long thing about how I wouldn't mind if my businesses fail as long as I stick to my philosophy and morals. But yeah, let's just assume they do at least live up to the age that I get to. Let's say I get to 80. Let's say, and hopefully at least half of them will still be alive. Maybe I might have to close, like, I have three right now. I might open up to like 100, and then by the time I get old, maybe it cuts down to 50 or whatever. Whatever it is, I'm fine with it. But there's my little children, and there is my career children, which is like all of the people that come after me that I hire, and then all the people that I train right below me, and then all the people they train below them, and all that. And you get like hundreds to thousands of employees. So those are the secondary children. Obviously, the my literal children, I'm gonna try to give them most of my effort and just teach them, basically teach them how to be decent humans. That's my life goal for the most part when it comes to them. And then to a lesser degree for all of the employed children and their children, their literal children, and their the people that are trained under them. So uh, now, in a literal sense of what my life goals are, that's my philosophical life goal. My literal life goal is I might expand into other regions of the food industry. Maybe I'll even get into other industries in general. But I think the most natural leap, if I do go outside of restaurants, would be like food manufacturing or distribution or something like that, just to dip my toes and see how other industries are. And then maybe down the line, I might get into real estate or something. But yeah, that's really far later. As far as so one thing I had to come to terms with probably 2 years ago, because for my whole cooking career from 18 to 24, maybe 25, my my main driver and direction that I was going was the goal of I want to be one of the best chefs in the world. And yeah, that's what it used to be. But then I don't know when it was, but one day I realized I can have more positive impact on more people if I don't strive to be the best chef in the world and I become a restaurateur instead. Because you can have more positive impact on more people just by the default of capitalism. If you open more businesses, you have more power to control more businesses. And if you operate a business in a more moral and ethical way than somebody else would have if you didn't open that business, then you're making a positive impact. And that's every restaurant you open that could have been operated by somebody else who does a worse job morally and ethically, that's your impact. So probably 2 or 3 years ago was when I had to come to terms with I'm not gonna be the best chef in the world or among the best chef in the world, and that's the trade-off that I'm willing to live with. Is because my logic too is would I rather try to make myself a top tier chef, and that's that's one person, and then sure I can work for work for somebody and have a nice Michelin star restaurant or whatever, I could go that route. Or do I want to be the owner and have the capacity to empower 50 people to live the dream of striving to be a really good chef? And then same thing for all the people below them. If you have 50 restaurants, that means I have 50 chefs. Below them, I have 50 to 100 sous chefs, and then all the line cooks below them. So yeah, I I, I realize I can't be the best anymore because it's for the greater good. It's like the whole there's one person on the railroad or 10 people. You divert from the 10 people to kill the one person to save the 10. But not in a killing term. This is career wise. Is the greater potential of those 50 people greater than my own? And I would say yes, because I can be a chef, but not all the chefs have the capacity to become restaurateurs. So it's about doing a higher level job that's harder to achieve, that would produce the greatest outcome. Let's say there's 51 of us, and if I didn't become the restaurateur out of the 51 of us, then somebody else would have. And do I think that they would do well? I think everyone thinks that their philosophy is good in general. So I can't say that my philosophy is greater or less than somebody else's. But yeah, that's when so back to the point, when I realized I'm not going to be the best anymore, that's when I started to kind of diversify my knowledge, because I can cook, right? I can cook. But restaurants are so much more than just cooking. And I've learned how to serve and talk to guests and make people feel special. So I can cook and I can serve. Now, I'm not the best at either one, but I can do it to like a 90% proficiency, that I'm a good server, I'm a good cook. And then once you break down all the different categories of uh, like fields within a restaurant, there's cooking, and then there's baking. So that's two, right? In the kitchen, cooking, baking. And then within cooking, there's like fish butchery, meat, vegetables, all those different categories. And then there's all different cuisines like Chinese, Japanese, Thai, and all that. There's so many ways you can break it down in there. And then so many job titles: chef, sous chef, line cook, all that stuff. But so that's the savory side. Within um, the pastry side, there's bread baking, chocolate work, making normal plated desserts, and I guess you could say like sugar work and that kind of stuff. So there's so many minuscule categories within cooking and baking. And then that's why I taught myself to I'm not a good bread baker by any means, but I understand the process, and if you just gave me ingredients with no recipe, I could probably produce some sort of edible bread. So it's more of understanding it enough that you can actually talk about it to somebody who actually has knowledge about it and understand what they're saying. So that's why originally I already knew how to cook, and then I knew how to serve in the front. And then that's recently I learned how to do bread. I'm teaching myself to do uh, desserts, plated desserts. I got to learn how to do chocolate and just that type of stuff. I think it's important, if you're going to be a restaurateur managing over 50 chefs and 50 pastry chefs or whatever, that you have at least a base level knowledge that you can have a conversation with these people about what they're supposed to be doing at a higher level than you could. Because if if a pastry chef is having problems with this dessert and they don't know what to do, and you're the owner, then and they don't and you didn't know how to do desserts, then you just be like, I don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. Shit, what do we do? We don't know what to do. But if you have a base level knowledge, at least you can communicate about the subject to say like, let's try this, let's figure this out, do this. What about this? And then they'll say like, oh, that doesn't work because this, or oh, I haven't thought about that. Let's try it. So at least you can talk about it. So that's within the cooking side of the restaurant touring thing. The other side of it is the front of the house, which is like talking to guests and all that. And then there's, I would say the front is being a server, that's one category. Being a bartender, that's another category. And being a sommelier, that's another category. And within the restaurant industry, if you go really high level in one field, it's easier to cross over and learn all of the other things because you already have a base knowledge of, let's say, um, making a cocktail. If you apply the same knowledge of how to make a balanced dish to a drink, it's a lot easier to do that than to just start from scratch, being some random person at home that goes to the store and is like, I bought all these liquids, I'm gonna mix it and make a cocktail. It's understanding how to taste and how to balance things from cooking to cocktail making. That's an advantage that makes it easier for you to get from zero to decently proficient. So I kind of I can I can't make really fancy cocktails, but I can make basic cocktails and I can taste it and apply my own opinion on it and change it until I think it's good. So there's that. And then I passed my level 1 sommelier test. So I have a base level of wine knowledge now. So yeah, so for the most part, over the past year, I've acquired a decent amount of knowledge in a lot of minor fields within cooking. So I'm kind of like a jack of all trades so far. Because beyond the physical operations of a restaurant, there's the boring stuff. There's HR, accounting, taxes, financial statements. There's all those other things that the more I learn about them, not to a point that I do the job, just that I know enough. I think that's my new job right now. It's not to be the best chef, it's not to be the best sommelier, it's not to be the best bartender. It's not my job to serve customers personally anymore, even though people know it's my restaurant. I have a bigger job to do, and that's to learn how to do my future job. Because I think that's what an owner's job is to create new work after hiring somebody to do your former job or training somebody to do your former job. You have 10 people and you're the top guy. You hire somebody in the bottom, everyone gets promoted one, and then all of a sudden you have to create an 11th job. And then next guy, same thing. You have to create a 12th job. You need to delegate downwards, and then everyone has to take on more and learn more. And by default, they should be getting paid more too. So I think that's basically how a company grows. Somebody comes in the bottom, it pushes the top up, and then the top has to create new work that adds value to the whole company. So I think once you get to the level of chef, you can't rely on learning from somebody else anymore. That's when you have to teach yourself things because you're already at the point where you should be able to learn on your own or to be able to create more ways of improving the business on your own. So yeah, that's where I am now. To I'm trying to learn how to do my future job that I will create in the future. So like, I don't know, corporate chef, corporate pastry chef, corporate sommelier. the more things that I can do decently, the more we don't need to hire somebody else to do it unless we get so big that it can be justified. Because having hiring a full-time corporate sommelier to do a wine list at 2 restaurants doesn't make sense, right? So by default, I should be able to do it until we get big enough that it was like, we have 20 restaurants. Okay, we can justify a full-time sommelier now. So yeah, growing is painful. That's why you get stretch marks and stuff, because you grew too fast and you need to be able to deal with it. It's not always gonna grow in the way you want at the speed you want. It's just well, that happened. This job, this work got created. Somebody has to do it. You might not be the best at it, but somebody has to do it. So I guess that's the midterm goal. Short-term goals. What are my goals for this year? My goals are to not sell Tesla at a crappy price because I need money at the end of the year for a third restaurant. So, and I can't really control Tesla's price, so I just hope it goes up. That's my goal, is to not do anything until it's at an acceptable price. Then I take action. That's when I will have met my goal. When I sell Tesla, just enough to do what I need to. Other thing is, we'll see if I get in on TV for Next Level Chef. The casting producer just told me they plan on sending the applications to Fox, I think, like tomorrow, or today's Thursday, Tuesday. They send it on Friday. So on Friday they'll send it, and then yeah, apparently I have a 1 in 60 chance. Well, 1 in 60 out of 12. So 1 in 5 chance, apparently, plus or minus. So 20%. I like those odds. They're not very good, but they're greater than 0. That's why I like it. I'm always like pessimistic and optimistic at the same time, where whichever way it happens, I already planned in my head on how to react. So I hope I get on TV. It'll be fun. Yeah, I think that would be the main thing. Well, other than the advertising for my restaurants and whatever, I think it's just gonna be fun. It's different when you competition is different when you have an actual purpose, and it's like official and it's real. It's more pressure. I love pressure. Oh, that's another thing. If the whole uh, TV thing falls through, I think I might get into boxing. For the past I would say even since high school, I always wanted to be a fighter. Just never. It was always like number 3 on my list of careers I want to pursue. It's just something about fighting one on one with another person. You don't have anyone to lean on or crutch to save you or help you. So I was thinking about doing MMA, but it seems like it's a lot more risky because you can break so much more things. Like you can break your arm, you can break your legs, and all that stuff. Whereas boxing, you're gonna get hit here or you're gonna get hit here, and you can't get choked out and that type of. You might get knocked out, but you can get knocked out in MMA too. So yeah, I might get into boxing. 29 years old now. It's a late start, but it is what it is, and I think I I do have enough discipline to get there in relatively short order, probably a couple years, but yep, discipline, getting things done. And that's the thing. Fighting is not becoming a fighter is not a business that you have to watch it grow over time. It's either you got it or you don't got it. That should quite a long video today.